Hi, I'm Darnell Wyrick, and today I'm here with Mr. James Ferryman, who is currently running for the Costa Mesa Sanitary District for Division 2. And I'd like to welcome you and thank you for taking the time out to come out and speak with the community regarding your campaign for your next election.
Well, it's a pleasure sitting next to you and going through this interview.
Well, thanks very much for being here. I'm sure that, having the experience that you have under your belt, you've got quite a few things on your agenda for the next election in terms of what you as a member of the Costa Mesa Sanitary District would like to accomplish. What comes to mind for you, and what is your platform for this next election?
Well, I've been on the board for 30 years, so, I've had a lot of experience, and I want to continue to go in the same direction we are going, because my cohorts on the board we're like a good team, and we would like to keep that team together and accomplish all the wonderful things that we have thus far.
Okay. Well, with that, I mean, obviously you've got someone else running for that seat as well, and from the standpoint of looking at what changes that could potentially come about in the city of Costa Mesa, do you foresee that they could bring something new to the table?
Yeah. Well, they seem to be focusing on about the only thing that we've had done wrong in 30 years, and that is we had a flood in our system. It's been 4 or 5 years ago now, and it was a major deal, and so we dealt with it, and we followed through with it, and it ended up being fine. We leased some property that would afford us to put a proper instrument on there to help us deal with the flood.
Okay. And so it obviously was resolved. So do you think that's the only concern that may be out there from any potential candidate?
They also brought up the fact that we gave ourselves a pay raise after we hadn't had one in 9 years, but we gave ourselves a pay raise, and but we don't get, sanitary district doesn't get any benefits. We do get a stipend, and we don't get any other perks.
Right.
So, and that's not true with everybody else around here.
So was that done in the privacy of the chambers, or was that an issue that potentially would have been?
No, it was an open meeting.
To the community, and from the standpoint of the recommendations for those increases?
We went up to $399 a month, only allowing 6 meetings to be credited.
In a given year then? Okay. Well, thanks very much. I appreciate that response. Just a quick question regarding the sewer lateral program and the visualization that was rolled out to the city. Can you speak a little bit about that in terms of how that was instilled?
Well, people are very enthusiastic about it. I mean, they get $500 if they need the service, and right. We send a guy out and they take a picture of it, through the and it seems to work fine, and we have many people take advantage of it, and this was something that we've been doing, a different version, but we've been doing for a lot of years.
Okay. So another question I think that comes up is the diversion program. I know that the diversion program, and obviously, there was a goal of having and achieved a 75% goal by 2020. So where's this, sanitary district fall right now with regards to that?
We're probably a little bit ahead of where we were. We're probably at 62%.
Okay.
But that's higher than anybody else in the county.
Right.
And so we're the first ones to even imagine doing it.
Correct.
And so we're way ahead of that, and we want to continue to have that as a goal. But it's going to take a little bit more time than we thought.
With regards to your tenure on the board, you said that you've got 30 years experience,
Yeah.
and there is the hope that you could maintain the vitality of the board and the members that are there collectively because of your experiences as far as that's concerned. So what's your thoughts relative to a newcomer to the board? I mean, obviously...
Hey, it's not the end of the world, you know, if one of us don't get elected, but we're so far ahead of, you know, the other candidates that it's almost laughable, really. And not to say that they're, you know, they can't learn it, and they, you know, it's going to take them a couple of years even to get up to halfway par.
Okay.
So it's because we get in there and get dirty, you know.
Well, I can tell you that I'm a very strong proponent of term limits from that standpoint as it relates specifically to politicians. I even think at the Senate and even in Congress, we've got lifelong individuals.
I kind of agree with you to some degree on that.
Okay.
You know, this is a different thing, you know, but when it gets right down to it, it's pretty much the same.
Well, yeah, and that's why I was thinking from the standpoint of just, you know, my background in being involved with the individuals within the city of Costa Mesa. I know that we seem to see the same individuals even on the city council as well as that in the mayoral positions. And just wondering now with the sanitation as well as the district here, as far as that's concerned, I see some of the same names coming about. And I am thinking that, you know, we're coming up on a new election here in 2020 with new candidates coming about. And just wondering your platform and what do you potentially perceive your contributions and what would you like to accomplish in the 2020
year? If you
year?
would look at this resume, I'm the president of about 5 major organizations in the county, all having to do with OCOG or you know, all these groundwater replenishment.
Sure.
You know, that's the project we did that brings 105 million gallons of water a day into Orange County, enough to supply 1 million people.
Okay.
I was the chairman when they turned the spigot.
Okay.
And there's many other that these guys wouldn't have access to.
Sure.
To be honest with you.
Okay. So, can we talk about the reserve water, the underground well water within Costa Mesa, and how that sizes up in terms of other counties in Orange?
Well, you know, it's just the north part of the county that has the aquifer.
Okay.
And then I read the other day, and I've known about it for a while. Yeah. We've got a problem up in La Habra. It's intruding on the water. And you know, it's serious, and you know, they're going to deal with it somehow. But you know, we got to be looking out for these things and be aware of them and react and get the problem solved.
Well, is that intrusion potentially? Is there concern for contamination of the existing well water?
It could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on top of it, though, man. We're jumping all over it, and you know, if we've got the experts. I mean, I don't know how well you know what our reputation is, but it's world renowned, and we won the Swedish Nobel Peace Prize for the groundwater replenishment thing. I mean, I can go down the list, you know, 1,000 items, you know.
Well, one of the other things, and thank you very much, one of the other things that comes up is, in fact, the current contract, waste removal contract that the city is under. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that, if a renewal's coming up on that, or if that's something that, from the standpoint...
We just had a renewal with CR&R.
CR&R, which is primarily one of the largest in the county.
Well, independent one, Waste Management's 10 times bigger than that. But.
Yeah. So, with regard to, how long of a term was that contract?
It's, I think it's 6 years.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that. That's not really my bailiwick, but but I think it's 6 years.
6 years. So, I mean, I would think that that would be a rather long time to make a commitment in the event that you've got other players or bids, even putting the contract waste out for bid.
But they've got so much money invested in that. You know what those trucks cost? Mm-hmm. They're like $400,000 a piece, mm-hmm. And you know, you just don't pass those out at a card game.
So okay, so they're bigger players in the community, but again, you know, we've got several counties that are currently, well, not counties, but cities that are currently with CR&R. Is that correct?
Cities that what?
That are currently contracted with CR&R.
You know, I don't know. I don't work for them.
Yeah.
But I know of, I know a few that are.
Yeah, there's pretty big players, and I was just curious because of that. I was wondering if that had any validity in terms of the reason Costa Mesa, you know, contract with them, and then also for such a long extended period of time, without potentially thinking about other.
We got the best deal from them, and we've had a long history with them. You know, we've worked well, although we've had a few, you know, hiccups that you know, I'm not happy about, but it's, you know, it's just one of those personnel changes, and you gotta get, you know, work through it.
So, Mr. Ferryman, you know, one of the common questions that comes about is as to why the contract for waste removal hasn't been put up for bid since World War II. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts as to why that's occurred?
Well, that's not accurate, for one thing. There's been 3 different owners of Costa Mesa Disposal, which is what it was originally called. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you can't just throw them all in one bucket and say, well, you know, why is that happening? Mm-hmm. You know. So, I mean, we're guarding the public's money, and they don't, you know, they're more than happy to usually to react to our concerns.
Right.
And I think the last time around, it might have even been shorter than 6 years. I just haven't looked at that lately.
So the thing is to, for point of clarification, is that even though the changes have occurred within the vendor, that the city of Costa Mesa has not actually looked to rebid it out to any other party.
Well, we did the last time, and that's what came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, we already went through that process, and about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And you know, both parties were happy with it, and you know.
Okay. So does the advisory committee, are they involved in any aspect of the decision-making process, or is that just primarily the board?
They're involved in every aspect of it that we feel that they need to be. I mean, there's some stuff that's just frivolous, you know. But they don't make the final decision. I mean, they recommend strongly, or you know, recommend to the board, and we have used their recommendation more than once. So, you know, we're not trying to. You know, the fact is, we've got more experience than they do, and we, you know, theoretically.
Right. All right. Well, again, I thank you a lot for, you know, taking the time out, because I know it is an election year and you'd like to make sure that constituents are able to hear your platform and what it is. So is there anything that you'd like to leave for those individuals?
I've got a sheet of paper here that shows how many awards and accolades and that the Costa Mesa Sanitary District and the Orange County Sanitation District have received, and we're the head of the class, man. I'm telling you, you do your research and you'll find out that that's what reality is.
Yeah, I've actually viewed some of those online, Schaefer's presentation when the awards were granted. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty much aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
Well, it's up to the voters, and last time I was fortunate enough to win by 10,000 votes. So, but that could change. That could change real quick.
Yeah.
I found that out before.